Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. My name is Nicholas Spino. Today, I'm presenting my research on the relationship between rising screen time and declining physical activity among adolescents. Over the past decade, digital technology, especially smartphones, has become deeply embedded in teenage life. Between 2019 and 2021, teens aged 13 to 18 reported spending an average of 8.5 hours per day in front of screens for entertainment, social media, gaming, reading, and streaming. This reflects an increase of more than 40 minutes per day compared to just a few years earlier. At the same time, only 1 in 4 high school students currently meets the recommended 60 minutes of daily physical activity. This overlap raises important questions. Is increased screen time use displacing movement? How strong is the connection? And what factors are influencing both trends? My research examines these questions by comparing historical data from the early smartphone era to current adolescent behavior. Across the fields of health, education, and wellness, professionals have expressed growing concern about this shift towards sedentary lifestyles. Excessive screen use has been linked to negative outcomes such as obesity, poor sleep, depression, and anxiety. A systematic review also found strong evidence connecting higher screen time with both increased obesity and depressive symptoms. Meanwhile, regular physical activity has well documented benefits. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, daily movement reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression, improves concentration and memory, and lowers the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Physical activity also improves academic performance, supporting better focus and classroom behavior. When adolescents spend most of their free time engaged with screens, they miss out on these benefits. My research is guided by the hypothesis that increased screen time contributes to decreased physical activity among teenagers. As adolescents gain more access to smartphones, video games, and social media, their behaviors become increasingly sedentary. This decline in movement is concerning because the World Health Organization recommends at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity daily. Physical activity levels among adolescents have been declining globally. In 2010, about 78% of boys and 84% of girls aged 11 to 17 were not getting enough daily exercise. By 2016, inactivity had grown even more widespread, with 81% of adolescents worldwide failing to meet recommended activity levels. The highest rate of inactivity occurred among girls at nearly 85%. This decline can be influenced by personal factors like motivation, as well as environmental, cultural, and economic factors. But despite these influences, the trend is clear. Teens today are moving significantly less than previous generations. Sports participation has also declined. Between 2011 and 2019, participation dropped from 58.4% to 57.4% among U.S. adolescents. When broken down by grade level, 10th grade participation dropped from 62.3% to 57.9%. 12th grade participation decreased from 52.5% to 49.8%. Meanwhile, screen time soared. In 2024, more than 50% of U.S. teenagers spent 4 or more hours per day on screens. Older black teens and black non-Hispanic adolescents reported the highest levels. The overlapping timing suggests that as digital entertainment expands, traditional physical activities, like sports, are declining. Many studies suggest a strong relationship between screen use and activity levels. For example, Huang found that adolescents with higher daily screen time were significantly less likely to participate in sports or walk and bike to places. Additionally, Guthold et al. Found that 70% of teens who use screens for 2 hours or less were physically active. Only 54% of teens using screens 4 or more hours were active. However, not all research aligns perfectly. Consider the study by Dahlgren et al., which found no clear relationship between smartphone use and physical activity in children ages 10 to 15. These conflicting results suggest that the relationship might depend on age, type of screen activity, access to sports, or other lifestyle factors. Several broader societal factors also contribute to increased screen use. First, advances in technology have made screens almost unavoidable. Social interactions, games, entertainment, and even schoolwork are now digital. Second, social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube intentionally hold users' attention by offering an endless flow of recommended content. Third, today's adolescents have fewer opportunities for unsupervised outdoor play. Safety concerns, busy schedules, and urbanization limit access to parks and safe recreational areas. These shifts suggest that screen time is more than just a personal choice, it's shaped by cultural and environmental changes. To explore these trends more deeply, my research uses a correlational study design which examines the relationship between screen time and physical activity without manipulating either variable. Data sources include self monitoring logs, smartphone screen tracking features, wearable fitness devices, and national datasets from the CDC and WHO. Historical data from around 2010, the early smartphone era, was compared to current data to assess how behaviors have shifted. A Pearson correlation analysis will determine whether increased screen time is associated with decreased activity levels. There are several important implications for schools. With screen time rising and activity levels falling, schools must play a larger role in ensuring students get daily movement. This includes protecting PE and recess time, providing structured opportunities for physical activity, integrating movement into classroom learning through active breaks or kinesthetic activities. Schools are uniquely positioned to counterbalance sedentary patterns by creating environments where movement is encouraged and accessible. For families, establish predictable technology routines or screen-free times, encourage balanced screen habits, and promote outdoor play and active family activities. When families and schools work together, adolescents are more likely to establish lifelong healthy routines. The evidence overwhelmingly suggests that screen time has risen sharply among adolescents while physical activity levels have steadily declined. Teens now spend an average of 8.5 hours a day using screens, and more than 80% fail to meet physical activity guidelines. Studies show that greater screen time predicts lower participation in sports and daily movement, and sports participation itself has fallen in recent years. Although some research, such as Dahlgren et al., shows weaker correlations, the overall pattern suggests a meaningful link. This indicates a need for targeted interventions that promotes balanced screen use and expand opportunities for youth physical activity in homes, schools, and communities. As digital demands continue to grow, supporting healthy routines for adolescents becomes increasingly important for their long-term physical, mental, and academic well-being.